The city of Austin is one step closer to approving a new police contract. But first, leaders will hear from Austinites.
The more than $218 million contract has raised questions about the city's already record-breaking budget and the recent release of officers' personnel files.
City Council held a work session today to tackle both topics. KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez joins us now in the studio to break it all down. Kelsey?
Brian, Ashley, the pushback comes from the size of this contract and the so-called G files, which are part of the Austin police oversight measure that voters overwhelmingly passed last year. A bulk of Austinites who spoke before council today urged the city not to go forward with the contract.
We urge you to vote no on Thursday.
Giving APD $218 million is outrageous.
Strong opinions from Austinites Tuesday, dozens speaking before council members about what they should consider when voting on a contract between the city of Austin and the union that represents Austin police officers.
We want strong oversight, not half-hearted promises of accountability. Austin did not vote to pay the police more to achieve this. We want it outright.
The issues at hand are how the $218 million contract will impact the city's budget and the so-called G files. Those are personnel files of officers accused of misconduct. However, some have raised concerns about whether the city is complying with the Police Oversight Act, which now makes the G files public, the language of the proposed contract regarding the files, and whether the budget for the police contract takes away from other city needs. Last week, the first batch of G files was released.
You cannot rely on their interpretation of whether or not this deal is in compliance with our ballot measure. And as the authors, we're here to tell you that no, it is not.
During the discussion, council members also raised questions around the G file.
And I think we should be very, very careful about the language that we agree to and make absolutely certain that the G file is public. But I appreciate the work that y'all have put into it, the city attorney as well. But I'm comfortable with this language.
I think we have clarity on the G file piece, although even with the G file, if it's pre or post, it's up to state law, and state law can change.
To which the city gave some clarity.
We're in full compliance with APOA. We inserted into the contract. That's a provision that is consistent with what we agreed to within the contract.
And when it comes to the budget, city leaders noted multiple needs will need to be addressed.
So at our last work session, we talked about how this contract would not necessarily put us into a tax rate election just on its own. But I do want to surface that is the reality that we're heading into.